Another feather in the cap of Ford being named as Time's most iconic company in American history. Welcome back to Techstination. With us from Ford is Archives and Heritage Brand Manager Ted Ryan. Great to see you again, Ted.
Thanks for having me on. This is a fun topic.
It really is. With America celebrating its 250th birthday this year, Time is out with a list of the most iconic companies. And while the top five include names like Apple, Coca-Cola, Walmart, and Amazon, at the very top is Ford Motor Company. Amazing, Ted.
It is amazing, but when you think about it and you read what the criteria were, respected companies, impact on America, impact on culture, they had a list of five different categories. It makes total sense. And then time begins to spell out the invention of the Model T, which put the America on wheels, the assembly line, the $5 a day wage, the helping America with as the arsenal of democracy during World War II, and even the more fun and frivolous things like the Mustang, creating an entire new class of cars and kicking Ferrari's butt at Le Mans in '66, a point of American pride. So America's turning 250, and Ford has been there for almost half of those 250 years. So I think it's a well-deserved honor.
And the story of Ford is what your job basically is all about, I suppose, Ted. And the company really did create more than cars. You created the middle class.
We did with the $5 a day wage, we completely transformed society, and that was by intent. We wanted the people who were building the cars to be able to afford to buy the cars they were building. Because keep in mind, in this era, a car is a $2,000 luxury that only the rich can afford. Rockefeller has a car. I can't have one. Well, the Model T changed that. And then the $5 a day wage, which was a result of the assembly line and needing additional labor, helped do that at the same time. So we helped create the middle class. And then after the war with baby boomers, we did the Mustang, which created a new generation. The boomer generation got their car and put an imprint on American society.
And today, democratizing technology, all this new tech to smart vehicles, you're helping to bring that to the public at large as well, right?
We are, and we just announced the new low price EV car that will be built in America. Isn't that the other thing that the Time talked about that I haven't touched on yet? We have the biggest footprint of any American automobile manufacturer in America. We employ more hourly workers, if I can say that, than any other auto company out there, and we employ more in the United States than anybody else. And the vehicles, the preponderance of Ford vehicles are built here in the United States. And that wasn't just as a result of tariffs. That was already in play ahead of time as Ford, particularly with the F-150. Gosh, how I've not even talked about the F series. Best-selling truck in America for 50 years, almost 50 years. Best-selling vehicle in America for the last 30 years. So we build trucks and transit vans, best-selling van in the world for people who put them to work. And what better way to celebrate Ford than when you see a job site and you look in there, there's a Super Duty or there's a transit van customized.
And on top of Ford, the iconic name, you've got those other iconic brands that you've already mentioned here, the Mustang and the F Series trucks.
We do, and the other one I only touched on it briefly, but the Arsenal of Democracy, think Willow Run and the B-24 Liberator bomber, where Ford completely transformed the assembly of airplanes. No one had ever done it like that before. We did the assembly line process because that's what we're good at, and suddenly we're producing a plane an hour at Willow Run. Fully a third of the B-24 Liberator bombers were built at that plant. And that doesn't even count the Jeeps and the tanks and everything else. And then during COVID, we flipped and we built 50,000 respirators and we did 100 million masks. So the company is, there's no Mr. GM, not no disrespect to GM, but there's a Mr. Ford, and Bill Ford's the chairman, and it's a long line of Ford. So we have the Ford family DNA that serves as the North Star for how we're going to act in the public and how we're going to act in the world. And I think that Ford is always going to be there when America needs her.
And you touched on that racing legacy already too, which is a big part of this too.
It is a big part because, you have that American pride. Think of we've got the Olympics coming up and everybody's going to be glued to their TV pulling for Team USA. Well, that was the same thing in the 60s where Ford took on Ferrari, the monolith who had won Le Mans however many years in a row. And we finally beat him in 66 after two false starts. But then that wasn't enough. We went back again and beat him in 67, 68, and 69. But I mean, that's just one component of the racing. We've been doing rally racing around the world, the super racing, the Pikes Peak, Mercury, the Baja. Think about the Baja and the Ford Bronco, another icon we haven't even gotten close to. Bill Strop. Bill Strop was the Bronco, what Carroll Shelby was to the Mustang, making these amazing vehicles to the point that in 1969, the Bronco was the only, became the first and only standard stock 4x4 to win Baja. Think about that. He basically drove it off the parking lot and won Baja with it. It was that good a vehicle. So Ford's racing has been a point of pride. Fred, you know the story. Sweepstakes 1901. So 125 years of racing. We've always been at the forefront of whatever's going on in motorsports at the time. And we're going back to Le Mans in 27 with the hypercar. And we're going to try for best of class again in 27.
Well, Ted, it sounds like you are the Heritage Vault, but you've got a Heritage Vault that everybody can visit. That's free for everyone. So
We do.
that's been wonderful too.
We're over 27,000 items now too, Fred. We started you and I spoke about it like 3.5 years ago. 5,000 items. Now we're over 27,000 items, free to download, FordHeritageVault.com. There's one other thing that people can follow too. We've started doing TED Talk videos. My name's Ted, so I'm not violating any copyrights. But if they follow Ted Ryan 64 on Instagram, you can see some pretty interesting videos that we've begun to produce. I did one on Lego last night because Ford just announced the new 1966 Mark II GT Lego kit. So these TED Talk videos, and the one before that, I did one with the Carhartt Archivist. So there's lots of different ways. The Heritage Vault, and then these fun videos on Ted Ryan 64 on Instagram.
That's terrific. I guess TED Talks is easier than Ryan Ruminations, but
That would have been a good one though. And Fred, I actually, I've spent 21 years at Coke, so I worked in my career for two of America's most iconic companies. So I can tell you when you're in the trenches at one of those companies, you feel it and it permeates. And I know the point of pride that the Ford employees have is real and palpable because we know that we work for an amazing company.
it's terrific. Ted Ryan, thank you so much for spending time with us.
Thanks, Fred.
The Haven 10,000 lantern is a smartly designed, beautiful solar light that you will love indoors or out. It is waterproof with up to 1,200 lumens of brightness. That's a lot of light. And the base becomes a flashlight at the push of a button. The power comes from a built-in lithium-ion battery recharged by the sun. The solar panel is built in, or USB-C. The battery can even recharge your phone. Did we mention how durable it is? How it folds down and can run for up to 120 hours on a charge? But the real power of the Haven Lantern comes from the people behind it and their mission to provide this quality lighting to those in the world who need it most, including in disaster emergencies. Your purchase helps to fund those efforts, and if you use the code Techstination20, you'll get it at a 20% discount. That's Techstination20 at havenlantern.com. Create your haven.